is a WIAT Red Zone special, SEC Media Days.
Looks and he fires long. Down the right side, going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
That was how the Alabama Crimson Tide rung in the new year. January 1st, 2015, a 42-35 loss to Ohio State, the team that went on to win the national championship.
Has it only been 7 months? Back in the mix today was Kenyon Drake. That heartbreaking broken leg at Ole Miss left Drake out. And after the loss of that game, and he was out the rest of the season, he's back now. His versatility will be key in the Alabama passing game to replace some numbers lost with Amari Cooper's exit. Melissa Kim goes one-on-one with Kenyon Drake later on. Welcome inside the Red Zone. Jim Dunaway along with Lauren Sisler again tonight. Lauren, let me get this right. Alabama's replacing their single season passing record holder. They're also replacing their top 3 receivers and a lot more.
So in essence, Jim, what we're talking about here, the Alabama Crimson Tide have some big holes and big challenges on offense, and all of that goes with a genuine sense of confidence coming from the Crimson Tide. Their confidence in replacing their quarterback and receiver falls in the hands of Nick Saban, who recruits some of the top players in the country, and in their offensive coordinator Lane Kiffin, who tailors the offense accordingly. As senior Ryan Kelly said, you will never replace Amari Cooper, the receiver who shredded Alabama's record books last season, but that's where the Tide go to work in establishing their new identity.
There was something that we lost in doing that. You know, before we would just line up and, physically dominate the line of scrimmage, and the other team knew what we were going to do. That was really not a secret, but they really couldn't stop us. So even though we had much more balance on offense, much more diversity, I think we lost a little bit of that.
Now, I learned today that Jay Coker led the quarterbacks in a basketball win over the receivers. Now all Coker has to do is win the quarterback job to lead the offense. Captain Ryan Kelly, the center of the offensive line, has seen Coker grow in 1 year.
Can't just expect him to come in and make friends right away. We've had guys on the team that I've been friends with for 4 or 5 years and actually built, real relationships. And I think Jake understood that as a player coming in. I think that he was kind of hesitant at first, but now that he's been here for a year, I think he's made strong enough relationships, and enough guys have known him and got to know him well enough to know that, he's going to be there he's going to have their back.
Now, Jake Coker, David Cornwell, or somebody else. The quarterback battle continues, and Melissa Kim talked about the battle with Alabama QB1 from the '92 national title team, Jay Barker.
Towards the end of your career, you're more of a game manager kind of guy. AJ was kind of that guy. You just mentioned Blake was kind of that guy. Do you see any of the guys that right now that could potentially grow into that role?
Definitely. Like I said, Jake Coker, all those guys could. They got so much talent around them to do those things. The key at that position is to lead, is to be a field general, be the coach on the field, be confident, and don't let guys see you wavering or worried about. Just go out there and execute, make good decisions at the line of scrimmage, get people into the right plays. And again, turnovers will kill you. And this year they've got a great punter in J.K. Scott. Adam Griffin is going to be healthy really for the first time in a long time. So they got special teams, they're going to have a great defense. Go out there and play to, not scared, not conservative, just go play, but don't make mistakes. If you don't do that, Alabama's got a chance to win a ton of football games this year.
And you're on the opening drive with Al Del Greco every morning on Jocks. Do you ever get some slack from Alabama fans for defending Auburn sometimes?
No. Yes. All the time. If I say anything nice about Gus Malzahn or Rhett Lashley, and these are people that you've had a chance to meet and get to know, and but that's fans. It doesn't matter either way. But Al and I joke about it all the time that we have to be almost. You have to be homers towards our school and almost anti the other. And for me, it's like, man, we're so blessed in our state to have 2 great schools. And I'd love for the national championship to run through that Iron Bowl every single year. But at the end of the day, if Auburn loses, it doesn't hurt my feelings one bit.
Thanks so much, Jay, for your time today. You can catch Jay Barker on the opening drive with Al Del Greco on Jocks. Guys.
Yeah, I know those guys. Hey, Nick Saban is now 3rd all-time in games coached at Alabama. Only Bear Bryant and Frank Thomas has led the Tide onto the field more than Saban has.
Yeah, but with continued success comes great expectations like winning a championship every single season. Nick Saban is reminded of that quite often.
The nicest older couple you're ever going to meet come up and say, we're Alabama folks, we graduated from Alabama. Would you take a picture with us? So I said, sure, I'd love to. So I get up and take a picture with them, and You know, when that's all over, nicest people in the world, the lady who is elderly puts her hand on my shoulder and says, maybe we'll win next year.
I love story time with Nick Saban. Now, those expectations are all part of the registration process at Alabama, something that is only for a select group.
The last 2 years, obviously, we haven't finished the way we want to. And one of the biggest things that we're trying to do this year is to reestablish the standard of Alabama. You know, we got enough guys on our team who won national championships in 2012. I was here in 2011 as one of the older guys on the team now. And one of the things that we have to do is when the young guys come in, we got to set the standard high for those guys. They got to know that this isn't just any other ordinary place. This is Alabama, and this is what we do.
All right, now, Alabama hasn't lost a season opener since Dennis Franchioni's team lost to UCLA in 2001. The Tide opens with Wisconsin in 52 days. You know, Kentucky, they were 5-1 last year, and then they lost 6 straight games to miss a bowl invitation again. Bad ending.
Yeah, all that momentum. The Wildcats have a long way to go before they draw in the attention their championship caliber basketball team does, but you have to start somewhere, right?
You do, absolutely.
All right, here's what their schedule in 2015 looks like. A lot of their big divisional games at home, but they also get to play their program's first ever Thursday night game against the Auburn Tigers.
It's difficult. I've been on both sides of it. To play a Thursday night game on the road is difficult. It's just a weird vibe. Players traveling on a Wednesday and in the hotel all day on a Thursday. It's just a different vibe, different setup.
Well, Kentucky will run into a restructured Auburn defense in that game with new coordinator Will Muschamp. Today, Auburn released the details of Muschamp's contract. Auburn will pay him at least $5.1 million over 3 years. Florida will also pay him over $6 million over those same 3 years. And one clause in that deal, Lauren, Muschamp can actually leave Auburn at no cost to him as of December 5th this year. So no obligations.
No obligation, and the door open in case another job does perhaps come his way. Now, still to come here on the WIAT 42 Red Zone, Alabama running back Kenyon Drake takes us down his road to recovery after that gruesome injury that sidelined his junior season. You're watching the WIAT 40 Red Zone on CBS 42.
Say something real quick. I just want to give a shout out to my little brother. It's his birthday today, his 10th birthday, Isaiah Drake. He wanted me to make sure I did that, so I just want to make sure I did that for him.
That worked out. Alabama's Kenyon Drake beginning his media session by giving a birthday shout out to that younger brother Isaiah. Isaiah turning 10 today, and as we like to say here on the Big Show, cake and ice cream for everybody in Powder Spring, Georgia.
Ice cream and cake and cake.
I knew you were going to sing that. Okay, great story. Drake tells me today that Lane Kiffin actually put video on the Playbook iPad of Reggie Bush in his Southern Cal days to sort of show Drake what his role in the new Alabama offense would look like.
And now Kenyon Drake won't get last year back, but now he's looking towards this year in his final year of eligibility with the Alabama Crimson Tide. In week 6 of the season, he suffered from this gruesome leg injury that would have been career-ending for many. Not the case, though, for Drake, who told us, our own Melissa Kim, he's ready to get back out on that field and compete for a national championship.
We're joined now by Alabama's Kenyon Drake. And Kenyon, you were recently named one of the top 25 college football players to follow on Twitter. So tell me, what makes a good tweet?
Just being sincere, funny. Sometimes, have to understand how to break the ice sometimes. And, you got to go out there and, give the people what they want. So you just got to, tweet from the heart.
All right, tweet from the heart. I like that. And on Twitter, I saw recently this past year you were kind of showing off your musical talents on the piano. Are you a good musician?
Actually, no, that was more of a front. I can probably only play one song, and that's Mary Had a Little Lamb. My grandma taught me that, but hey, if you want to hear that constantly, I can play that for you. It is what it is.
All right. And I've heard you might be a good dancer.
Oh, I don't know where you heard that from. I'm not a good.
Can you whip?
All right, I can show you how to whip a little bit.
All right.
And then you whip.
All right, awesome. Dancing skills and musical skills from Alabama's Kenyon Drake. Guys, back to you.
Can you whip?
I can, but you will not see that on live television.
All right, anyways. All right, thanks, Melissa. Alabama seems to have a game plan for their offense, but way to kill the party. But the defense will hold up their end of the bargain. That's the big question.
Reggie Ragland was there today as well. He is Alabama's top returning tackler with 95, but the defense needs work. Alabama gave up 19 passes of 30 or more yards last season. Big plays at bad times. The biggest shock, though, is that Alabama gave up over 170 rushing yards in 4 of their last 7 games, including including 281 from the Buckeyes in the playoff loss. Kirby Smart working to plug the holes.
With Coach Smart back, that's a great feeling knowing I got the defensive coordinator there with me. I know I can get everything I need to know about the game plan. I can just call him up. That's a great idea. A great thing Coach Saban and the coach staff did to bring in a guy that was the defensive coordinator that knows football and the schemes that they gonna bring together with Coach Smart and Coach Saban.
Behind new defensive backs coach Mel Tucker, Alabama's secondary has potential to be as scary as their front seven, in my opinion. Now, Arkansas rolled into town as one of the hottest stories in the offseason, and they finished last year as hot as Brett Bielema's Air Force Ones.
You like those shoes today. The Hogs won 4 of their last 6, and today Brett Bielema won media days. He took shots at Texas after Arkansas beat them in a bowl game, and a lot more.
This is a very out-of-the-box experience. I opened the box and realized the bling effect was in full effect in relation to cartwheels, jumping jacks, and all that stuff. So, they want to be the man. They want to be the guy, and that usually leads to those problems. To kneel on the 2-yard line, 3 times in a row at the end of the game is for me, that's a very fulfilling moment. Borderline erotic. I've kind of referenced our defense as being the Bad News Bears for the people that are of that vintage. High expectations are better than low expectations. Sounds like a country song, but it's probably one worth ringing. I'm married. I figured it out. It's a lot better to communicate on the front end than try to deal with the consequences at the end. So it was supposed to be funny. So I'll let those other 2 just kind of float away. Thank you very much. Woo pig.
All right, Brett Bielema today. For the Hogs to keep their roll going, they'll need quarterback Brandon Allen to take that next step. The running game's good, but they need balance.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon Allen will be the starting quarterback for the 3rd straight year. Now, he's not asked to throw a lot, but Allen checks Arkansas into the right running plays, and he managed the game perfectly down the stretch, 20 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions.
He's played college quarterback before. He's played the position, so any advice that he gives me, I really take to heart, and I know he means it in the best interest, and I really can, because he's been there. He's been in situations that I've been in.
The Hogs open the season with UTEP, Toledo, and Texas Tech. They should be 3-0 rolling into the Texas A&M game.
That's right, 2 SEC Eastern Division championships. Missouri there today. They got Matty Bach back as well. Listen to Matty talk about football.
I've experienced a lot. I've experienced great wins. I've experienced sloppy wins, but the main thing is there's a lot of wins in that column. A guy at the last place said, "Well, you had a 24 QBR." I said, "Well, we got the win."
They are once again replacing their entire wide receiver core. Tomorrow we find out the media's vote. Who will be number 1, I wonder?
I know, that's always the big question, and the big question, do the media always get it right?
They don't. Since 1992, media is 5-18 in picking. A look at Nick Saban moving around today. We're back to wrap up SEC Media Days tomorrow. I think it'll be Georgia and Auburn. A lot of people say Georgia and Alabama. We'll see what the media says tomorrow. You guys have a great night. Thanks for being part of the Red Zone.